Hello and welcome back. Today we are continuing our three-part series looking at the recent Spider-Man symbiote based figures. Last video we looked at the Spider-Man 3 symbiote, which we can now move out of the way, and we will be taking a look at Peter Parker Black Suit Spider-Man from Marvel Spider-Man 2 video game. This is part of the Marvel Legends Gamerverse series from Hasbro. This is the standard Marvel Legends style packaging. However, this is the Gamerverse, so we get a white border and then the red and darker red tonage of that Spider-Man 2 art promotional material. It comes in the window box packaging so we can see our figure within. On the side we get some artwork of the figure as he appeared in that game. Marvel Legends series. On the bottoms are legal and our barcode. On the back is more legal. And then we get a cross-sell of other figures in this way, done in the style of the suit collections select screen from the game. On the other side is more of that artwork and the side of our window box packaging, and you can see Spider-Man within. Top just says Gamerverse, and there we have our packaging. Opening up, the insert for this packaging is that red and white Spider-Man promotional material logo. And here we have the figure himself. Let's get him out of the packaging. He comes with two sets of alternate hands. So we get some web whipping hands, which is standard practice with a Marvel Spider-Man figure, and some palms opened, I guess, web crawling hands. And then we get a mended version of the web shooting web line, which we've seen with some other Marvel Legends figures. Typically it's just a single white or transparent web line that is it's essentially almost this piece and this line here. However, this one's been modified so that it's slightly thicker down here, and that we have some additional tendrils coming off it to give that real symbiote-like appearance as the web lines appeared in this game. So this is a really nice touch, and I really do like this additional accessory. It's obviously quite a loose plastic, quite gummy, bendable, so when you're posing it tends to droop a little, but it is what it is. Our alternate hands, as we've said, is the open hands and web shooting. And then we get our Peter Parker Spider-Man in the symbiote suit as he appeared in that game. And already there is some absolutely fantastic molded detail throughout on this figure. It really does have some standout differences to a standard symbiote Spider-Man or a Spider-Man figure at all. So the head is textured slightly to give it more of a alien organic look. You can see it comes around the back and there's that seams there. The suit has that organic texture in the crevices and molds of the arms, but equally the symbiote has given Spider-Man almost some armored body protection, especially along in the chest and the abs here, curving up and round. I absolutely love all the small little textures throughout on this figure. It really does give some extra depth and life to the figure. The web or the spider's feet go all the way around and form the front and back of the spider. So there's some real attention to detail that's gone into this figure to make it a real standout piece. Articulation is that standard Marvel Legends figures we come to expect, with ball joints at the head. There is no butterfly joints on this figure, and that's due to this unique sculpt of the figure, so I kind of understand that. But he does get that swivel and rotation at the arm and bicep. Double pinless elbows. That is... it's a little looser than I expected. It's serviceable. It's not too much of an issue, but it's not as tight as the other Spider-Man figures I've seen. So that might just be my figure. It's not, well, this one's tighter. Especially here, this one's tighter, so you can sort of see. Whereas this one, not that I'm going to be swinging around like this, but you can see how the elbow's bending with just by moving it about. So that might just be my figure. It's just something to bear in mind. Wrists on those standard rotation and swivels, and you can just pop them off to exchange them for another hand. There's some actually nice textures on the palms of the hands as well. Body has that chest rotation and ball joint, so we get some nice movement there. It's not too loose, so there isn't any real wiggly waggly there. We get a articulation at the waist, or the crunch at the waist, so we can get some bend and movement there. Legs come forward that far, back far because of the sculpt. Thigh rotation, double bend at the knees, and there are some nice tight joints there. Same on that side, they're tight. We get, surprisingly, a boot cut for Spider-Man right here. And then rotation at the ankles. So it's standard articulation, standard looking figure, but he does look pretty good. My only complaint is that loose joint at the elbow here, but otherwise there is no real issues. So you can get a hold of the web line just by placing it over the arms or hands as you see fit. As I said, because it's quite a loose gummy piece of plastic, it doesn't really look that dynamic. You'd certainly need some sort of stand piece to make it a little more dynamic looking. However, you can hang the figure from one of these. In fact, I've got one of the figures posed in my collection using the web line and hanging. So it's not, you mess around like that, it's going to drop the figure, but you can get some posability and shots out of that. It's just to be mindful that it's not going without some sort of support. It does tend to droop, but you could also get it looking like a grip. So maybe it's a whip tendril or something. I don't know. But overall, it's a nice figure. I like it. I'm happy to add this one to the collection. I think comparing it to that other Symbiote Spider, I definitely prefer this Spider-Man overall. It has some really nice touches. It has some really nice detailing. This one really does feel like a step up over this one. Again, this one was £5 more, but again, it's that additional accessories that you don't get with this. I mean, we get the hands, which are the same with this, and then we get a web tendril, which is a basic accessory we get with all of our Marvel Legends figures, or Spider-Man's figures. It's a newer mold, but I can see Hasbro getting reuse out of this with its various Venom and Symbiote characters over the course of the line. But yeah, I feel this figure just looks that much more dynamic and striking on a shelf. I think this one's just going to sort of blend into the background a bit, which is a shame, but it is what it is. So there we have Peter Parker Black Suit Spider-Man from Marvel's Spider-Man 2, and I do like this figure. I'm glad to add him to the collection. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, stay safe, and remember, with great power comes great responsibility.